Have you ever been stuck at a crossroads in your business that you just can't seem to get over the hump? Or maybe you have a small business and you can't seem to increase your revenue no matter how hard you try, right? Or maybe you can't seem to stay organized, which leads to missed deadlines and missed opportunities. Well, two issues kind of come into mind in cases like this, and it's typically a skill set issue or a mindset issue, right? And so let's identify whether you're facing a skill set or a mindset issue and create a plan of attack. Right? But first, let's define what a skill set is and why it's important. Right? So, a skill set is basically a set of specific abilities and knowledge that you possess in a particular area. A skill set typically requires minimal conscious effort because it should be second nature to you. It's something that you have a lot of experience in, right? So you've reached a level of mastery that usually manifests itself in some type of tangible result, right? So just like tying your shoes, for instance, right? Like when you learn how to tie your shoes, you made a perfect bow, you mastered that, right? Learning how to drive, right? I mean, we can do a lot of things while we're driving that we probably shouldn't be doing, right? But we've reached a level of mastery, which allows us to do that thing subconsciously. It just doesn't require very much mental anguish, right? And so a skill set typically requires, like I said, a minimal effort, right? And if you own a business, that tangible result that we're looking for is absolutely money, right? There's no question. We're not even gonna play with you. That's the whole reason that we got into business is to create revenue, right? And as an entrepreneur, your customer base has the expectation that you've mastered these skill sets in relation to your craft or your industry. That is why they choose to do business with you, right? But what happens when the trends begin to change in your industry, right? And it requires, learning and implementing growth, a new growth process, and how you go to market. What do you do when your organic traffic, or what do you do when the organic traffic that has been going to your website or your social media slows down, right? But you've never even ran ads, right? It's just completely organic. So identifying those skill set issues that you and your small business are lacking are pivotal in order to scale your business to the predetermined next level. And I say predetermined next level, that is the next level that you choose. Not the industry doesn't choose that, your customer doesn't choose that. You decide what your next level is. It's your business, right? So there's just four major areas that I've identified that most small businesses with skill set issues embody, right? So let's kind of dive in. One of the first things that I kind of came across was inadequate marketing skills, right? So you might struggle with being able to reach your target audience if you even identify your target audience, which that could be a bit of a problem as well, but also to effectively promote your products and your services. Right now, we all love organic traffic, right? That's just what everybody wants. Right? We all want organic traffic. We want people to want us, right? And not for any particular reason other than the fact that they like our product, right? And so some of us never run ads. And so when we look at ads, I think a lot of us have the wrong mindset about ads. Like we're going to put all this money into it and it's just going to pop up on people's feeds and they're just going to scroll by and that's wasted money. That's a terrible mindset to have. Ad traffic is extremely important. Ad traffic is, in my opinion, and the way I look at it, ad traffic is just organic traffic that doesn't know about your product or your service, right? So when that ad comes across and they take a look into it, how do they know they if they have interest or not in the product that you have or the service that you offer if they don't know about it, right? They didn't know they had an interest before you ran your ads. Now you start running ads and now they do, right? And you have to understand what an ad is. Um, it's not begging. We're not begging at all, right? An ad is just an invitation to somewhere, for someone else to come somewhere I was already going. I was already going to the top. You're already going to the top. An ad is just an invitation to come with me. An ad is an invitation to come enjoy this premium experience, this premium product, this premium service, right? So if you aren't running ads, you are doing yourself and your business a great disservice, right? So number two is weak financial management skills. And two things come to mind when it comes to that. That's budgeting and forecasting, right? Now, budgeting is a term that I'm sure that we've all heard that everybody's heard at some point, right? But you have to have a budget. You have to have an expectation of spend, right? Of what you can spend, right? You keep overspending creates a snowball effect of problems for your business, and now you're fighting from behind, and we can't be there. We have to create a budget, a feasible budget, right? Understand what needs to be bought, understanding, making sure that we know the cost on all of our products, making sure that we understand that what it costs us to do business, all that needs to be predetermined prior to the launch of a product or service. All right. So, and as far as forecasting goes, forecasting may be a term that you're not as familiar with, but forecasting, think of the weatherman, right? Think about how they tell us, this week what the weather is going to be like next week. Now, does that always happen? Of course not. It doesn't always happen, but based upon previous trends, right? Someone is making an educated guess or a hypothesis on what's to come. Forecasting is the same thing, right? So if last month you had no new product releases, you know, nothing, no new changes to your business. It was just regular run of the mill, right? You're looking at your sales. You're looking at your sales, you're looking at your website traffic, all of that from the previous month. Now, this month, you've been gearing up for a product release, right? So, what I'm going to do is I'm basing it off of what I did on the previous month, making some minor changes and tweaks to my current month target, right? And then I'm going to project what exactly I'm looking for. So I'm going to project based upon last month's sales, right? And current market trends. I'm projecting to move this many units, or I'm projecting to reach this many customers, right? And so when you have a forecasting, an adequate forecasting tool, it gives you at least a bit of direction on where you should be going, right? So as you're checking throughout the month, if you see that you're behind on conversions, or your sales are down, you can identify an issue in real time, as opposed to letting the entire month or the entire sales cycle go by before you decide to make a change, right? So that's why budgeting and forecasting is super, super important. It's a skill that you must master, right, in order to take your business to the next level. All right. Number three is lack of leadership skills, right? How can you inspire, and guide your team without inspiring and guiding yourself, right? Some of us are one man armies, right? Some of us have teams that rely on us, right? And so making sure that we're investing in ourselves, right, is important in order to scale our business and just to scale our lives, right? So including in your budget should be finances solely dedicated to your grooming as a sales professional, and making sure that you are mentally and emotionally sound. Like, budget that. You are important. You know what I mean? You are important to your business. You are your business. It doesn't matter if you're a one man army, right? Or if you've got a team of 50. Without you, the business does not exist, right? So making sure that you're investing in yourself, you're investing in your development is extremely important, right? In order to be a fine-tuned machine, you got to have some scheduled maintenance. I'm gonna say that again for the people in the back, right? So in order to be a fine-tuned machine, you have to have scheduled maintenance. I don't care what kind of car you drive. It can be a Benz, it can be a Beamer, doesn't matter. There's scheduled maintenance involved to ensure that that vehicle drives properly. You know what I mean? You're the driver, right? Your business is the vehicle. It is your responsibility to make sure that your maintenance is your scheduled maintenance is ready to go, right? And you're ready to dive into that and figure out if there are any issues, if there anything that needs to be addressed, if there are some areas that you're lacking in, right? So keep that in mind. I'm gonna say it one more time to make sure that resonates with y'all. In order to be a fine-tuned machine, you have to have some scheduled maintenance. All right. All right. Number four is insufficient sales skills. That's a tongue twister. Owning a business but hating sales is crazy. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that from business owners. Like, I hate sales. I hate sales. I hate selling. Well, what are you doing? What's the point of being in business or creating a business if you don't like selling? Well, how do people buy if you don't like selling? Just, it makes no sense. So in most small businesses that are finding themselves being leveled off or hitting that ceiling, I didn't mean to clap like that, but hitting that ceiling, um, most of them don't have a sales process, right? So I create this amazing product or this amazing service. I got my website. I have my social media, but I don't know how to sell. There is no process. So creating a sale. I mean, that's from interest to giving them features and benefits of your product, because it doesn't matter the benefit. The benefit doesn't matter if it isn't a benefit of your client, which is why it's so important to have a target audience, because your product or your solution needs to fix a dilemma for your target audience. And if it doesn't do that, they're not going to buy from you, right? But ensuring that you create a sales process. And if you don't know how to do that, find someone that's successful in your industry and emulate theirs. Right? What they say, the biggest form of flattery or the greatest form of flattery or whatever, um, is imitation, right? So do that. Find someone in your industry that has a sound sales process, right? And either connect with them, reach out to them and connect with them, or if not, mimic their process. And as you mimic their process, you'll be able to make tweaks and changes to make it more beneficial to you, right? Um, so we talked about some skill set issues, right? We talked about some fixes for those, but I got a few more suggestions as far as skill set issues go. This is going to be pivotal to scaling your business. So we don't want to skate past this, right? So making sure that we seek education and training. You know what I mean? Attending workshops, you know, courses. Be leery of courses. Make sure your sources, make sure your source has the right to create a course, right? They need to make sure that they've done their homework. They have the credentials. They have the experience. Moreover, before you just start dealing out money for courses, webinars as well to brush up on specific skills and needs. Those are the things that you want to focus on when you're trying to to increase your leadership skills, right? Finding mentors and consultants, right? So connect with experienced professionals who can provide you with practical advice, and guidance, because we all need that, right? Practice and gain experience. Just do it. Just do it. Like, you are not going to find out what you're not good at until you try it and then see you're not good at it. But on the same hand, well, actually on the opposite hand, you're not going to know what you're great at until you get out there and see how well you do things. So just do it. You've been sitting on this idea for a year. You've been sitting on this idea for 6 months. How long are you going to sit on it? It's not an egg. It won't hatch. I don't care how long you sit on it. You got to get out there and do it. And of course, my favorite is collaborate and network. I'm huge. I'm huge, huge, huge on collaboration. You got to connect with individuals who excel in the areas that you need improvement on. I do it all the time. Right? There's several YouTubers and several public speakers, several great minds that I literally latch on to in order to excel in those areas that I know that I'm lacking in, right? So, and I learn from their experience and their knowledge, right? And then I apply it to my life, right? And so to kind of sum this up is you have to have the intention of mastery. You have to have the intention of mastery. Every level of your business, every level of your life, you have to master that, right? You have to know that to the same level that you tie your shoes, the same level that you drive your car. Those are all things that you've mastered, right? So in your business, you've got to take each level from website development to your social media to product development. The list goes on, and it could seem overwhelming, right? But remember, it's one step at a time. Once you master something, you never have to learn it again. The problem is that we learn things, but we don't master them. So after periods of not using those things, they kind of fade to the back of our mind, right? Uh, so making sure that those things stay fresh. Intention of mastery. Everything that I intend to do, I intend to master, right? And once I master it, I never have to learn it again. It's like riding a bike, right? So that essentially wraps up part one of this video, which is skill set. If you found this video that it resonates with you, part two will be coming shortly, and we'll kind of dive into those mindset issues. But I hope this helps you guys.